Welcome, everyone. We are diving into a really packed European basketball slate today. We've gone through 8 key matchups to bring you the sharpest angles and the most important insights. So let's get right into it.
But before we jump in, I just want to give a huge thank you to our sponsors, MyStake and Vivada. If you're looking to get in on the action, seriously, check out the links in the description. There are some special bonuses waiting for you when you sign up.
And hey, one last thing. If you get any value out of these breakdowns, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe so you never miss what we're putting out. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the analysis. So we're kicking things off with 2 games where the whole story really revolves around defense, and in one case, the massive impact of one single missing player. First up, we've got Cardices taking on AAK Athena, and this one is just a classic contrast. On one side, you have Cardices, whose offense has just been struggling, really poor shooting percentages. On the other side, AAK is in a must-win situation for their playoff lives, so you just know they're going to lock in on D, and that's where they can completely take over this game. So, when you put all that together, what do you get? It points directly to a low-scoring, grinded-out kind of game. With AEK's defense dialed in and Cardices' offense sputtering, we're looking at the under on 161.5 total points. All right, moving on to our next game, Nymburk versus Tenerife. Now, Nymburk is a solid team, they're fighting to advance, but honestly, the entire story of this matchup hangs on one key absence for Tenerife. Yeah, we're talking about their maestro, their floor general, Marcelinho Huertas. The source material puts it perfectly. The Brazilian is the main playmaker. It will be very difficult to compensate for his absence. And it's so true. Almost their entire offense runs through him. He's the guy orchestrating everything. Without him, their whole rhythm just falls apart. His absence is a massive, massive blow. And that puts Nymburk in a fantastic spot. We're taking them with the points here, plus 6.5. They've absolutely got the quality to keep this one tight, and against a Tenerife's team that's missing its engine, they've got a real shot at winning this thing outright. All right, our next 2 games are a perfect study in contrasts. We've got one team in a complete meltdown versus another that's just riding a huge wave of good form. First, let's look at Hapoel Holon versus Ritas, and the dynamic here could not be clearer. Hapoel is in a total tailspin. They're losing, they just fired their coach, they're winless in this stage. That kind of chaos just breeds mistakes. On the flip side, Ritas is coming in feeling good, full of confidence. The momentum is completely one-sided. With all that instability and, let's be honest, questionable motivation from Hapoel, Ritas is in the perfect position to take advantage. We're backing Ritas to cover the 3.5-point spread here. Next up, Alba Berlin takes on Tafas. And you know what? We see a very similar theme. Alba has proven quality, they're at home, they're strong on the glass. Tafas, on the other hand, is in what our source material calls an obvious decline and slump, and that's putting it mildly. Look, if Alba Berlin just plays their game, they should handle this one without too much trouble and lock up their spot in the next round. The tip here is simple: Alba to win and cover the 4.5 points. Okay, moving on to our third pair of games, and this section is all about putting points on the board. We're looking at matchups with some serious high-scoring potential, mostly because of some glaring defensive issues. First, we have Chalon versus Juventud. The key here is Chalon's defense, or maybe I should say their lack of defense. They have been getting absolutely torched lately. You combine that with a Juventud offense that's feeling great after a big win, and you've got the perfect recipe for a shootout. And I'm not just saying that. Look at the points they've given up recently. 92 to Monaco, a mind-boggling 111 to Unicaja, 88 to Nanterre. They are just bleeding points right now, and a team like Juventud has more than enough firepower to take full advantage. So yeah, everything about this game is screaming points. This has all the makings of a track meet, so we are confidently taking the over on 167.5. Now for Panionios versus Besiktas. And while you have to give Panionios credit, they have improved. There are levels to this stuff. Besiktas is just deeper, more talented, and they have serious ambitions to make a deep run in the Eurocup. You know their coach, Dusan Alanpievich, is going to demand a full-throttle effort here. With their deeper bench and just superior quality all around, Besiktas should be able to control this from the jump. We're picking them to win by a comfortable margin and cover that 10.5-point handicap. It just reflects that big gap in talent. Okay, on to our final 2 games. And for these, the deciding factors are going to be motivation, or the lack of it, and the pace of the game. In this Slask versus Cedevita matchup, the whole dynamic is just set up for a fast game. This is Slask's final European home game, so they're playing with house money. Expect them to play loose, try to entertain the fans, they can score, but their defense is, well, it's pretty leaky. Cedevita, on the other hand, is rested, and they're going to look to push the tempo every chance they get. So, what do you get when you mix all that together? A fast-paced, high-scoring game for sure, with very little defensive pressure expected from Slask and a Cedevita team that loves to run. We are on the over 167.5 points for this one too. And for our final game, Trento versus Ulm, the key factor is all about motivation. It's that simple. This game is absolutely crucial for Trento's playoff positioning, and they play really well at home. For Ulm, the stakes couldn't be lower. They're already out, and they're way more focused on what's happening back in their domestic league. This is just a classic case of one team needing the win way, way more than the other. With Trento playing at home and fighting for their playoff lives, we're backing them to win and win decisively. The final tip is Trento to cover the 8.5-point spread. And that wraps up our breakdown of all 8 games. To make it super easy for you, let's just put all of our key tips together on the final board. So here it is, the full rundown for today. We've got the under 161.5 in that card at Sus game. We're taking Nymburk with the points at plus 6.5. We like Ridas at Nemitz 3.5 and Alba Berlin at -4.5. Then we've got 2 overs, over 167.5 for both the Chalon and the Slask games. And finally, we're backing 2 big favorites to cover, Besiktas -10.5 and Trento -8.5. And one final thank you to our sponsors, MyStake and Vavada. Remember, those bonus links are waiting for you in the description. And if you found this breakdown valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers just like this one. And now I want to hear from you. After seeing all this, which of these 8 tips is your most confident pick of the day? Or maybe you have a completely different angle you're looking at. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.